Hey guys, this your girl Love Goddess. I am here. I am here. I am back on the map. Listen, I just had to take a little break right then, organize, get things situated, speak to spirit, see what spirit needed me to do, how he wanted me to collaborate everything, how he wanted me to bring everything forth for Love Nation. Listen, I am still for you guys. I am still here. I have a message today. Today, I have a message that has been laid on my heart, so I'm going to get it out to you. This has nothing to do with my tarot cards today. This is just me straight speaking to you from the download the source has given me. And I went and I got the information, and now I'm going to bring it forth to you. This is strictly for you, Love Goddess, not Love Goddess, but Love Nation, and whoever come across this message, this may be a message that they may need to hear. Okay, all right. So the message that downloaded in my spirit was power struggle, power struggle, power struggle. Um, with power struggle, there's a lot that came along with it. Spirit started feeding a lot. Once I went to start studying it, there were a lot of things that kept coming, downloading into me about everything that is happening here at this time. Within this 3D reality, or the reality that we are creating, we have to gain control of how we think, how we are creating the world that we are living in, because this world is here for us to gain from. God source created this world for us, Eden for us, but there was so much that was going on. Once the enemy, the devil, was kicked out of heaven, he casted him out of heaven. That's a whole nother story I'm going to talk about heaven and hell. But now we're living in this reality, but we're like blinded to the whole scenario of things. Okay, so power struggle was what came to my heart. Um, I was led to go to First Corinthians and 10 for a message there. Also Proverbs 23 and 7. Okay. But First Corinthians read, I appeal to you. This is Paul speaking to the church, actually. Before I read it, this is Paul speaking to the church. And he's trying to let them know, look, you have to stop trying to separate yourself. You have some members that are trying to follow the Apollos. You have some members that are trying to follow the apostles. You have some members that are trying to follow other higher up rankings in the church. And Paul is like, stop. No, no, one mind, one body, one spirit, one soul, one thought. So Paul is trying to, confront the church to let them know that they have to believe in Christ Jesus himself, because they're starting to have power struggle. The higher ups are wanting to branch off and have their own thing going on, when and take members with them. So they're trying to separate the church, and they did eventually. Back then, they did separate the church. That's where we get all these different religions and denominations and stuff like that. So they ended up doing it anyway, even though Paul tried to stop it. This was one of the things that God was trying to use Paul to stop the people from separating the church. God did not want them to have labels and separation. God wanted them to understand that it's only one God, one source, one being of light, that we're living by, and that's the truth, the whole truth. God is truth. God is word. You know, God is all creations come from God, and we are all one creation of God. So this is what Paul was trying to tell the church at that time. but they still didn't listen to what Paul was saying. Okay, so it says, I appeal to you, brothers and sisters, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree with one another in what you say, and there be no division among you, but you be perfectly united in mind and thought. Mind and thoughts. Okay? Mind meaning words. The words you're saying is your mind, because you speak everything that comes out. Whatever you think of, you're going to speak it. So that's what he's trying to say. Whatever you're saying, what's coming out of your mouth, that's your mind. But when he says thoughts, that's your heart. Your thoughts is your heart. Your mind is your mouth. Okay? So whenever you're speaking what's on your mind. But your thoughts you don't speak. You hold it in your heart. You understand that? See, this is what you have to understand. That's why they say whatsoever a man thinketh within his heart, that's what he truly means. That's his true desires. You know, that is his true creation. That is what he create. You're creating your reality, your world, your universe from your thoughts, your heart center, right? That's why God knows your heart. God don't see your mind, what you're saying. God sees your heart. See, there's a lot of people that got that construed. People out here that are doing things, telling, call themselves teaching, giving you the teachings and stuff like that, but they're just mindfully doing it. Mindfully, the trick of the devil. The devil was mindfully doing things. But to truly be connected with God is what you think, your thoughts, your heart center. Okay? This is where Paul was saying your mind and your thoughts. He wanted them to be united. You need your mind and your heart, your mind and your thoughts to be united. See, there was a separation of the mind and a separation of the heart or the thoughts. Because remember, your thoughts is your heart. So now this is a type of alchemical thing. This is like an alchemical thing where um, you're trying to create something within yourself into this one pureness, like pure gold. So the mercury that's within ourselves is off balance, is what Paul is saying. We're off balance. And Paul is trying to bring it back to a balance because we're not thinking correctly. You are saying one thing, but within your thoughts and your heart and your motion, your movement, the way your facial expression, because remember, your thoughts and your heart is how you really feel. And you cannot hide those feelings. You cannot hide the way that you truly feel within yourself. It's the emotions gonna come out in the way you move, the way you talk. Like you're really gonna, you may say one thing, but the power of that word that you're saying, if it doesn't match your heart, it's just words and it just dies once it's said, you know? So this is what Paul was saying. Okay, so Proverbs 23:7 says, for as he thinketh in his heart, told you, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Eat and drink. I didn't underline that, eat and drink. Eat and drink, okay, but his heart is not with thee. Eat and drink. See, that tells you that mind part is your mouth. That's why they say everything that you're eating, everything you're saying, that's a part of your mind. you know, just running your mouth. You're just overflowing with things coming out of your mouth. You're putting all this stuff in your mouth, but your actions are not showing that. Your actions are not showing that. Okay? See, because if you read it, it says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." But he's eating and drinking, right? But his heart is not with him. So that means he's saying all these things, but it's not from the pureness of his heart, right? So this is what Paul was saying, like, get it together. You guys are separating the church. We are the church. Spiritually, we are the church. There's a separation within ourselves that has to alchemically come together in balance to create this pure gold that we hold so dearly, our soul, our spirit, the God within us, right? So we're so separated from that. And the God that's within us is our hearts. Whether you know it or not, that soul is your heart. Your heartbeat is God. That's the first thing you hear when you know that a baby is here. The heartbeat is life. The heartbeat is life. That is God. The God within you is your heart. So anything you hold in your heart is your truth. You must understand that. You can say what you want, but in your heart, how you feel, how you move, how you operate is going to say a whole nother thing. And in God's eye, that's what he sees. He knows your heart because that's your life force. We are made in the image of God. And the image of God that we are made in is the heart. On the outside, the flesh, everything is different. We have all this DNA, this different, from family, all this stuff that chemically came together to create flesh. But God is the God that is within us is our heart. That which is created, all hearts look the same. Ain't no one heart that look different. There might be different sizes, big, small, but they all operate the same. They all look the same. And most hearts beat the same. They only have a different rhythm. Rather, it's fast or slow. There's a different rhythm in your beat. Your vibration may be a little bit different in your heart. But we all have a heart, and we have one of them. Everything else within our body has two. Everything else has two. You could take one and still have another. But if you take that heart, you have no more. Because that heart belongs to God. So the power struggle is within ourselves. When we come to realize that we are one. Every being here is one. We are all created in the image of God. That means that we are all the same. If I were to do anything to hurt you, I did it to myself. If I spit on my neighbor, I spit on myself. If I kill my neighbor, I kill myself. Do you understand? We are all created as one. We have different missions on this earth. And this is where the power struggle comes in at too, because we have come so confined to this 3D dimension and got stuck here. I really have to talk about, I really want to talk about heaven and hell, because this is 3D, the third dimension is hell. I'm going to give you a snippet of it. Third dimension is hell, okay? This is where God casted the devil out of the angel dimension. Okay, the angel dimension is like 10th dimension, right? That's where the angels live. Okay, we're in the third dimension, but the angels are in like the 10th dimension. The devil was kicked out of the 10th dimension, and God is like 11th. But the devil was kicked out of the 10th dimension into the third dimension, right? So the devil came to reign over the third dimension. And this is where we have all of these scare tactics to keep us bound to the third dimension, to the matrix of this world. Until you come into your truth, finding your heart center, which is your God, your creator. When you find your heart center, truly you can walk in your truth and you can rise above this third dimension. When you rise above this third dimension, you have to go past the fourth into the fifth. The next dimension to go into is the fifth. The fourth dimension is where people talk about being in between worlds. Some of us are like that. All these great pastors and people of great fame, they're in between worlds. They're like fourth and third dimension. They're back and forth between fourth and third. Okay, because what happens is when they get that little power, they rise above the third. Their vibration is higher than the third, but they're not realizing they're not there yet. So it's going to be a little bit more work. They're in between dimensions. That was a side note about what I want to talk about when it comes to heaven and hell. But I've been working on that heaven and hell. But what I was led to bring to you today is power struggle, and they are struggling too. The ones that are in between dimensions, that is a power struggle. That is a power struggle because like they hold this great authoric credential of being in high standards because they have people that are their proteges, people that are up under them, that they're teaching and molding and mending and trying to help them to, find their own truth as well. So, but what is happening is, that off balance of not being able to stay and continue to rise higher, and eventually get to that fifth dimension, then that sixth dimension and stuff like that. The higher, you go, the higher your understanding of creation and God and source and how he created this world alchemically, how he chemistry, philosophy, all this stuff. Once you start learning all of that and really get into the true fact of all is one, because it's a beautiful thing. This power struggle, that's nothing but the devil. It's the enemy trying to separate the churches. That's where you have, and the churches meaning, outside the body as well as inside the body. See, because the thing is, you have these different, I'm going to talk about the religions too when it comes to power struggle, because you have, you have religion, Christianity, you have Buddhism, Hoodism, you have Rosicrucian, you have Illuminati, there's so many different organizations, you know what I'm saying? Um, what is that one that I've been talking about lately? Something about the sciences. I forgot what it's called. If you know what it is, you can comment in the comment section and let me know what it is. Something about the sciences. But you have to be initiated to get into that one, into the Rosicrucian, into the Illuminati. You have to be initiated into those organizations, only because there's some information that they have that they don't want to release to the world to give people more power or give people more information on how to become their truth, but it's being leaked out regardless. But other than that, like, yeah, all of these different religions, and they are stuck in like this cycle of their own ways, the things that they do, how they conduct themselves. I understand that they have their books, but like, your book wasn't the last book. That wasn't the only book to be read, to be studied, because God uses a lot of people in different religions. That's what you got to understand. God is not just for the Christians. God is not just for the Buddhists. God is not just for the Buddhism. God is not just for the Rosicrucian. God is not just for the Illuminati. God uses people in all of those organizations to write books. God uses people in all those organizations to create something. Because remember, no matter what, we are all created in the image of God, meaning we are all one. So it doesn't matter what religion you have, but the best thing that you can do is learn a little bit about all religions. That's the best way to find yourself in a cycle that has to be broken. It's like a generational curse that you're stuck in. And you have to break that cycle, and the way that you're going to do it, and that's why this is where this whole power struggle come from. They started Christianity. It was a power struggle thing. It was a thing to keep people confined. Buddhism, you know what I'm saying? All these religions had their reason for starting it. This is why Paul tried to stop them from separating the church. This is why Paul tried to stop them from separating the church, because of this reason here. Because once they separated, you get up under this one leader, they have one leader, just like any king or queen. And whenever they rule over their community or their kingdom, they set their own rules and regulations and laws. This is what happens when you separate the church. So this power struggle has to stop. This is what God is saying. God dropped it in my spirit. The power struggle has to stop. It's one God. One thing I can truly say, that what is that? One God, one nation, under all, indivisible. One God, one nation. We are all one, and all is one. And when you step into your truth, you will see the mighty works of God. You will truly see the works of God. There are so many miracles will start to happen. Not only that, I must say, there will be struggles. There will be, some spiritual battles, warfare that may go on in your life, because the enemy does not want you to walk in your truth. The enemy don't want anyone to walk in their truth. He wants us to be blind to the fact. He wants us to separate ourselves. He wants us to live in this male-dominant world, when in reality, the world is not male-dominant. Our earth is a woman. A woman can only give birth. A woman can give birth to creation. A woman can give birth to a kingdom. That's a whole nother story. Listen, I got so much for you guys. Listen, God has been dealing with me. I know I've been out for like 2-3 months, but hey, that was my time with God. God had to mold me, shape me, build me. You know what I'm saying? Get me out here so that I know exactly what I need to bring to you guys, when I need to bring it to you. But I'm going to hold off on that, because that's a whole nother story too, about if you want to hear more about this world being more male dominant, and how it's colliding with the truth of what God had created, which is woman to give birth to a nation, write it in the comment. Because I'll bring that next. I could bring that tomorrow for you if you want it. If you want it, love goddess, to bring it to the Love Nation. Yes, I will. Listen, cause listen, I've been looking into these things. It's like it's so amazing, but knowledge is power, wisdom is power, but you can gain your power and stop struggling. It's a power struggle. It's a power struggle when I say people abuse their power, and that's not good, because the thing about it is you can only do that so long. You can tell the ones who abuse their power, who are doing it by their mind and their mouth, which is their mouth, and the ones who are actually doing it with their thoughts of their heart, using the creativity of their heart, tapping into their truth, which is God within them, and bringing you this information because it flourishes more and better. So that's it. That's the power struggle. The ones who are abusing the power, and then the ones who don't know of their power. It's a power struggle not to know your power. It's a power struggle when you're walking in this earth and not understanding and knowing that you're creating exactly what you're in. All that you are going through is because of the way you think of your life in your heart, the way your mind and your heart is connected, so to where it's like you're creating a reality and don't even know that you're creating it. Like, if you're struggling, it's because of your thoughts, how you feel. You're feeling like you can't get out of that struggle. But if you get in your heart and be like, no, I'm going to turn this thing around and make a better life for myself, and get into that mindset and change that mind into better thoughts, right? And when you start changing into better thoughts, your heart will follow and your movement will follow. And then you'll start alchemically changing your matter, your mercury within yourself, until you create this golden vessel of yours. So that's what it is. It's a power struggle, and that's the way the enemy had it set up here in the third dimension, is to control us so that we don't see our power. And the ones that see their power, they abuse their power. So it's all the trick of the enemy. You have to be mindful, thoughtful, stay heart centered in the matter. So listen, I'm gonna cut it off. I know I went a little bit longer than I was supposed to, but listen, I love you guys. I thank you guys, for those who are still here with me. I am still here. I might be in and out. That's only because God has to mold me and shape me, move me into the right position in life. Let me know where I need to be. Yes, I do a lot of things. God speaks to me. God moves through me, and I have opened my vessel to allow God, the Spirit, my ancestor, whoever needs to bring a message to you guys. I allow my vessel to be used in that way, by removing the ego, removing myself, removing anything that does not concern or does not mean me any good anymore in this dimension or realm of my life, to allow this to happen for you guys. This is not just for me, this is for you as a whole. Us, we, one, all. I love you guys so much out there in Love Nation. Listen, this is your girl, Love Goddess. Hit me up if this is the first time visiting me, or this the first time you seeing this video, seeing my face, whatever the case may be, and you like the content that I presented today, like it. Hey, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel. We are loving it. Look, we are building together here in Love Nation. Listen, I am new to this YouTube thing. I know there's a lot that I have to do as far as getting it up and running, sufficient enough the way that I need it to be running, or the way that I envision it to be running, to get it that, that I see it. It's just the point of actually getting it there. So I'm um I'm working on that though, and hey, if there's people out there that want to fight this battle with me, what I'm saying, we could team up, whatever the case may be. But hit me up, leave a message, like the video, share it, whatever you need to do. It's a power struggle out there. It's a power struggle out there inside of us and outside of us. We just have to know where we stand within this reality, within this universe that we have created. All right, love you guys. Peace, love, and light. Deuces.